I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way.
Hello, Jade here from the Rawsome Truth. Today is a new opportunity to change your life. That is the quote of quotes. I heard it last night on a documentary I watched, Eating Yourself Alive. If you haven't seen it, I watched it on Netflix 123, which I'd never actually heard of. You must have it in America, but somehow I managed to get into it. I do have Netflix. I've got Australian Netflix, so for some reason we managed to get it. Anyway, very, very good documentary. It's all about what people are doing to themselves with high sugar, refined oils, and of course, dreaded animal products. So it's such a good video for anybody who is interested. Go and watch it. You're going to get a lot out of it, even if you're already vegan, even if you're already eating a plant-based diet. For me, I still got a lot out of it. I always do. I always learn something along the way, and I think for any vegan, it's always good to build your armor, and having more knowledge behind you helps you when you're out and about and you're talking about veganism to people. You have things that you can say to them, say, hang on, but this or this, and lead them to something or whatever. So well worth watching. Anyway, that is not what I want to talk to you about today. I got asked a question yesterday by somebody who I would class as a very close online friend. We have a lot of communication together daily. We admin a group together. So she is a big part. I would class her as a big part of my life because I speak to her a lot, even though I don't see her face to face. Anyhow, she asked me a question yesterday, which for me wasn't offensive. It wasn't an offensive question. It was a really good question, actually. She said to me, Jade, do you fear getting old? And that's a good question. I'm going to be 40 in October, so I am getting older, so to speak. And if you're 20 watching this, you're probably thinking, my God, she's so old. Why did I even switch onto her? Because I remember being 18 and 19 and thinking like that. And it really got me thinking, and I've actually been thinking about it over the last 24 hours. Am I afraid of getting older? Not really, but I guess part of you has different fears of different things. So I'm going to talk about what I said to her first. Now, the first thing I said was, ever since I was 18, I wanted to be 30. What a strange thing for an 18-year-old to want. But I had my first child at 18, and I was sort of always treated like I was so, young, inadequate. As I became older, and I used to take my son and my daughter, my children, 16 months apart. When I used to take them to school, the older parents, I never got into the cool clique, so to speak, because I was young. People looked at me and treated me like I was a child. I mean, admittedly, yeah, I was a child with children, but the way they treated me was really dreadful. And I used to want to be older. I thought, if I'm 30, everyone's going to treat me like I'm older. And of course you do get treated like you're older. When you're 30, you're 30, of course. But nothing really changed. It's not like I went 29, 30. Right, I'm 30. I think the thing for me is I don't have that concept anymore. And that's because I'm older and I'm more mature, and I never feel inadequate in front of anybody. And inadequacy is a horrible, horrible feeling. And I felt it a lot in my 20s. And I never felt like I was enough. I always felt that I was just this sort of someone to look down upon. And it was all inwards how I was feeling. And I would take the reflections of, other people's attitudes toward me, and I would take it so personally. So, and it's not a nice feeling to have those feelings of inadequacy. Nobody should do it to make other people feel like that, but we shouldn't allow other people to make us feel like that also. But I've grown a lot between 30 and 40, and of course, in a lifetime, I've lived, let's just say, nearly half of my life. I've learned a lot. I've grown a lot and I've matured a lot, and you learn how to handle situations, you learn how to handle people, and you learn to brush things off. If people want to look down on you, let them look down on you. I mean, if people want to think you're crazy, let them think you're crazy. And that's just part of life. I mean, we met a guy today whilst walking the streets of Phnom Penh, and he asked us to go out with him for dinner, and my partner said, I'm just letting you know we are vegan and we don't drink. The first thing he said was, oh God, you haven't got a Watchtower magazine with you. That's a Jehovah's Witness magazine. And I cracked up laughing. But people automatically, when you're different, they're sort of, but I can handle that. In my 20s, I would have probably taken it really personally. I just laughed and said, look, we're fine, we accept what people are, and we like people to accept what we are. It is what it is. And he was fine with that, and we're fine with that. So it's okay, but I would have handled it a lot differently. So back to the original question, am I fearing getting old? No. I love my age. I truly, truly love my age. And I couldn't say that when I was in my 20s. I know who I am as a person. I know every part of me. I know my faults. I know my flaws. I know my insecurities. I know my strengths. I know all these things about myself. Whereas in your 20s, and for me, a large degree of my 30s, I was really trying to find myself, who I am, what I am, whatever. And I'm just at such a stage in my life where I'm genuinely happy with where I'm at. But it was a good question she asked me, and the reason she asked me is because I make comments all the time. I'd like to be a little bit leaner, weight issues. And for me, that's got nothing to do with fearing getting older. It's not, I want to be super slim so I look 21. I just want to be healthy. I eat extremely healthy, and I want my body to project that health. And it's not for anybody else. It's just for me. I mean, my partner couldn't care less if I was 10 kilos heavier or 10 kilos lighter. As long as I'm happy, whatever. Probably wouldn't even notice, to tell you the truth. He just loves me, who I am. And so that's not an issue. It's not an issue for anybody else. That's just a personal thing for me, and something that I've had to deal with for a lot of my life. But I don't fear getting older. I'm really at a stage where I enjoy my life. I've got a pretty free life. I'm traveling the world. And I have lots of online friends, and I meet a lot of people day to day from different countries, and I experience their cultures and all sorts of things. I couldn't do that 20 years ago. I had 2 children, 2 babies. So for me, it's not about fearing getting older. For me, my greatest fear is that I haven't lived my life to the fullest. My greatest aim in life, I always say, did I live, did I love, did I matter? And if I've lived and I've given out enough love, and if I mattered to somebody, and I mean, to me, it's all about my family. If I mattered to my family, that's all that matters. Do I fear getting old? I guess probably was the biggest question, because I'm extremely healthy going into age 40, so I'm not having that fear that I'm going to have disease. I'm not having that fear that my body's going to pack up or anything like that, because I'm quite healthy. I'm very active. I'm able to, run myself through an hour gym session. I don't have any problems with my back, my, body, anything like that. So I don't have that actual fear, what if something's going to go wrong with my body? But my greatest fear has always been, I don't want to die alone. And it's always just something that's bothered me. Am I going to die alone? Am I going to be an old lady in a home by myself and I'm going to have no one? But I can't spend my life worrying about that. If it happens, it happens. It is what it is. But I don't fear death. I've never feared death. I grew up in a funeral parlour. My parents were actually funeral directors. So for me, death has been a really sort of strange thing. I never sort of overly think it because I sort of have just seen a lot of death in my life because of that. And I've never feared even, walking through cemeteries or anything like that. So I don't know. But I don't fear actually once I'm dead. And I don't know if that's because I'm a Christian and I believe that when I die, I'll be with Jesus. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I don't fear death. But it's not something I fear. I would hate to be crippled. I'd hate to be disabled. I'd hate to not be able to move anymore. But I guess if that does happen, that's part of aging. I used to do a lot of care work and I worked with a lady who was 96. Oh, she was amazing, like absolutely amazing and sharp as a tack and had the best sense of humour. She was very naughty and her and I used to joke a lot. And she was absolutely amazing. And she was bedridden, but everything was working upstairs. And she used to talk to me, and I'd talk to her about different things. Do you have any regrets or anything? And she said, you know what, Jade? I am so blessed because I've had my family surrounding me my whole life, and I've never regretted anything because I've always had the love of my family. And when she said that, I thought, wow. And I think that's what life's about, love. I really do. At my age now, I believe it's about love. Loving other people, meeting other people, receiving love from other people. I think sometimes we get it all wrong. And don't worry, I have had that mindset before that everything's about being wealthy, everything's about having the best of everything. Life's about being absolutely perfect. But I just don't believe that anymore. I just don't believe that I'm going to sit on my deathbed and say, wow, I wish I owned a Mercedes-Benz. Gee, I wish I had a 3-story home. I don't think I'm going to say that. My greatest regret would be if I didn't live my life to the fullest. And I made a decision to pack up all my stuff. If you follow me regularly, you'll know that. I packed up all my stuff and I sold off everything I own, and I'm just traveling the world. I miss my family dreadfully, but thank God for FaceTime. It's wonderful. I can talk to my family. I get them to show me around the house and everything. Show me that picture. Show me that, just so I can feel like I'm at home. So thank goodness for that. But I'm living my life to the fullest. So for me, I don't fear getting older because I'm not going to be on my deathbed with regrets. I'm just going to wake up. I'm never going to wake up one day and say, you know what, I wish I'd done that. Because if I want to do something, I just think, just do it. And I know how short life is. It really goes like that. My son's going to be 21 on the 8th of September. And it seems like only yesterday I held him in my arms and he was such a tiny little baby. He was 6 pounds 4 and he was absolutely beautiful. And believe it or not, he's 6'4" now. So he's huge. And it's just gone like that. So life just goes so quickly. Live life the way you want to live it. Live it with no regrets. Love people. Don't hold on to resentments. I did for such a long time. I'm so happy I let go of all my resentments. I'm so happy I forgave people and I allowed other people to forgive me. I'm not going to put myself up as saying everyone, hurt me. I've hurt people too. Hurt people. But I've forgiven people in my life. I don't want to hold on to toxic energy of resentments and hating people and, I'll never forgive them. Life's just far too short. So for me, to answer the question, do I fear getting older? No. I'm eating a plant-based diet. I'm eating a raw plant-based diet. I'm healthy. I'm very happy. I love. I receive love. I experience life. I've got no regrets and I'm not fearing dying. Anyhow, this is my video for the day. What about you? Do you fear dying? Do you fear getting old? Do you fear anything? Do you think you're going to wake up with regrets? Do you think that you've got the wrong concept of what's going on? I don't know. Only you can answer that. But to re-quote my quote, today is a new opportunity to change your life. So why not do it? I'm Jade. This is the Rawsome Truth. Subscribe to my channel. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. And most importantly, love life, live free, go vegan.